Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, not here with Geeky in this video. I'm actually going to do a video talking about the situation with Hasan Piker and Twitch, and I was going to do this yesterday during the live stream. I had to cut the live stream short because we had dog issues. Don't worry, the dog is okay. I wasn't sure what was going on with the dog. I was just getting a bunch of text messages, so I dipped out early. But now I'm going to do this video. So we're going to talk about Hasan. We're going to talk about Twitch. We're going to talk about the New York Times seemingly doing damage control for him, because I think this is all because of the House Oversight Committee summons. The CEOs of Discord, Twitch, and Reddit are going to be testifying about online radicalization. And when you've got one of your biggest streamers out there seemingly calling for violence against people, it's not a good look, right? I mean, it's not a good look. So we're gonna talk about that. Talk about TwitchCon. I guess he's noping out of TwitchCon because he says he's getting threats from right-wing people. He might be. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, honestly, at this point in this climate, especially after what happened with Charlie Kirk, I don't know either side of the aisle if you want to be an outspoken political pundit, if you want to go out there and go out in public, because people are crazy. We don't know what's going to happen, right? I'm just saying. And if your brand is hard politics and very controversial takes, which his is, I think he definitely is going to put a target on himself. Some people, and yeah, I'm sure this is a joke, but you know, come on. Some people basically sad that he's still alive on Twitter, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this is okay. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it was okay when left-wingers were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, and I don't think it's okay to fantasize about something happening to Hasan. Even if his opinions are garbage, he's allowed to have those opinions, but I guess where the line, for me, where the line is crossed is that his opinions seem to cross over into calls for physical violence or fantasizing or fetishizing political violence. Destiny, same thing. And these people are broadcasting on Twitch, which used to be a gaming platform. It used to be for gamers to watch other people play video games, and it's gotten more and more radicalized. It's more and more talking heads, political talking heads, and they have some pretty extreme views. You know, and so let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, go out to news.clownfishtv.com. It's news.clownfishtv.com. Sign up for notifications when we drop new videos. I'm looking at this. I'm like, who to follow? This is quite the eclectic mix here. Kojima Productions, okay. Cracker Barrel, and Comics for Everyone. So, yeah. So I think, look, we're going to talk about Hasan. There were some puff pieces done today in the New York Times. And I do believe, again, this all ties into, or is attempting to do damage control ahead of this October 8th summons, the House Oversight Committee. And Dan Clancy is apparently going to be there. They also have Steam. I guess Gabe is going to be there as well. And they're going to talk about, you know, how we got to a point where trans furry allegedly, or at least a trans furry adjacent person allegedly was radicalized to the point of killing Charlie Kirk. I don't know how this is going to go. Again, my concern, again, as a free speech guy, is that we are going to take extreme measures to clamp down on gamers in general because of a few bad eggs. Right? A few bad apples. And I would definitely lump Hasan into that. I think Hasan and Destiny might actually be the undoing of Twitch. Amazon might just wash their hands of it and be like, you know what? This is really dicey. We don't want to have one of our companies called in front of Congress, in front of the Senate to testify. We're going to cut this thing loose. And it doesn't make money. That's the thing. Twitch doesn't make money. But here in New York Times, just today, we had How Radical is Hasan Piker, the Twitch star's flirtation with violence, which is a podcast episode. And then here they have an op-ed piece. I think they embedded the podcast episode. Hasan Piker is flirting with the revolution. Meet the online star who likes to play with fire. And you get down into it, and he's talking about violence here. Hasan said, we're living in some interesting times. considering that as you who is interviewing me for the New York Times, I feel like that's very interesting. This is Ross Douthat. I don't know. I'm not familiar with him. Is he conservative? But they talk about how he doesn't have a filter. He's a self-proclaimed anti-imperialist Marxist who's been called a Joe Rogan of the left. Well, Joe Rogan is left. Joe Rogan's left. Remember that? Joe Rogan is left-wing. He is left-wing. Remember he said he was going to vote for Biden and Biden like denounced him because he wasn't into the COVID shot or something. He's compared himself to Rush Limbaugh. He keeps getting suspended from his platform, Twitch, for language he calls hyperbole and other people call incitement. Is he the future of the American left? Part of our cycle of radicalization, or just another example of how the internet drives everyone insane? Piker says Twitch streamers broadly, for the most part, play video games. Yeah, but you don't hear about them. You hear about women getting undressed and people like Hasan talking politics. You don't hear about the gamers much anymore. I'm a little bit unique to that space because I cover politics. I do news and political commentary for the most part. Twitch is basically a live streaming platform. So for the boomers that read the New York Times, and these are going to be the same people that are going to be grilling these CEOs, and they're not going to understand the difference. They're going to be like, oh, Twitch is video games bad. That's what's going to, I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. Video games bad. I'd say it's like YouTube, but it's always live. It's like live streaming YouTube. That's it. Piker says, if you ask my audience, they'll say a half day. Okay, so yeah, he's not streaming as much as he used to. That's a tough racket, man. Like live streams for me, it's hard to actually be able to carve out an hour or two to do it. And these people are on like, I mean, I will give them props for that. They are on like all the time. 5 or 6 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Like I couldn't do that. It would drive me nuts. I mean, we do our videos kind of throughout the day around other stuff, but to actually sit in a chair for 8 or 10 hours a day and have to be on, I can't do it. So, I mean, I'll give them that. So they're talking about concurrent viewers. So there are tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of concurrent live viewers that are in my chat. So we broadly call it chat. So it's talking about his ADHD. So somebody writes a sentence and says that's stupid, Hasan, because you're like, no, Gremlin user, I'm brilliant. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he's trying to explain, God, this is crazy. So he's trying to explain how Twitch works to this guy. And here's what his worldview is, I guess. He said, I believe the United States of America is a profoundly wealthy nation. It's the wealthiest nation on earth right now. And therefore, it can be doing right by all people that are in the United States of America, and it refuses to do so. And I want, through a system of, at first, modest social democratic reforms, basically claw back autonomy for the everyday person and hopefully give them more of a voice in their workplace in the political process, but slowly, surely yield more egalitarian outcomes. On the global dominant side, I think we should significantly scale back imperialism and the endless wars we engage in. I actually do agree with him on that regard. I have told you guys before, I definitely have libertarian leanings. I think that we should defend ourselves, absolutely, but we can't be the world police. We just can't be. Team America. Focus on helping people in this country, even focus on helping people in other countries, but in a meaningful way, not in a way where we change their own internal governance structures aggressively. Here's where he talks about violence. He said, all politics in my worldview revolve around the distribution of resources and the distribution of power. And a big part of that component is, of course, violence, revolutionary violence, who gets to do the violence and who gets to be on the receiving end of that violence that we have normalized. The systems that we exist under are inherently violent. All political systems are. It's more so about redirecting that. I know violence is a scary concept when we're discussing it in this way, but we're talking about in an academic context. So he's basically like, yeah, we're going to have to talk about violence if we're going to talk about political revolution, right? He's gotten himself in trouble. He's talked about, people bleeding out in the street and all this other like crazy shit. And maybe his blood sugar is low because he hasn't eaten. But look, here's where we're at. So this is coming from Sports Keto. Accidentally end up shooting a bunch of other effing people. Hasan Abi says he's not going to TwitchCon due to Tectone's fans. I would actually be more worried about him, but that's, or his fans. But regardless, I mean, this is where we're at right now. Where if your brand is hard politics and we're so divided and so polarized, it's gonna be hard for anybody to go in public and speak somewhere and announce that they're going to be there because there might be some crazy there that's going to do something. And they might even have motivation that's not, directly like, I don't like this guy, so I'm going to kill him. It might be like, this guy's a rival of mine, so I'm going to kill him, or I want to blame the other side, so I'm going to kill him. I mean, all kinds of crazy scenarios, or I'm just having a really bad day and he was on Twitch and he made me mad, and, so I stalked him for 6 months. And it's just, I mean, the fact that this is where we're at is what blows my mind. No, God, I hope that's not a, no, man, it's just like, it's wild to think that people just speaking their opinions in front of an audience, and they're usually pretty, not in the case of Hasan, but like with Charlie Kirk, like if you've just got relatively mild political opinions, that is so dangerous that people feel like they have to take you out. I mean, it's wild. But yeah, so Hasan stated he's not attending TwitchCon in San Diego due to Tectone's fans. So on September 30th, user 20,000 shared a 1-minute, 33-second video from Hasan's live stream, in it the Turkish-American personality responded to Tectone's post from September 29th, which the Gacha game streamer expressed his belief that Hasan chose not to attend the convention because he knows the dangers he has caused for others. Well, when you talk about violence and kind of fantasize it, you've got, he talks about, having like 100,000 people watch him or whatever. Some of those people are not going to be mentally well. And they're going to take it and they're going to run with it. Response to Tectone's social media post, Hasan said, "What do you mean you created this beast?" It's ironic because this is quite literally part of the reason why I think like some dumb fuck who is a Rape Tone fan is going to take matters into their own hands because they're like, oh, I know Hasan's going to TwitchCon. I'm going to fucking make a name for myself. Then accidentally end up shooting a bunch of other fucking people. They're attending TwitchCon. See also the ICE facility in Texas. Tried to take out the ICE agents, wound up shooting the detainees. That is the opposite of what they were intending to do, I'm sure. That's the reason why I'm not going. Because he admits he's going to put people in danger. Furthermore, the 34-year-old claimed to have made a public statement about not attending TwitchCon to discourage psychos from attending. Is literally the reason. Like, what kind of fucking statement is this? And it's such a crazy situation because I have to make a public statement about it. I discourage psychos from fucking attending. And meanwhile, I'm making a public statement about making it clear that it's not about even my own personal safety, but the safety of others because of people like Tectone, okay? Because of this kind of sentiment you hear all over the internet. People like Tectone. Well, he did fantasize and talk about violence. I mean, we covered it before. He might be okay 90% of the time or whatever. And I don't know if our people listen to Hasan or not. A lot of people apparently listen to him, but I'm like, dude, you're getting a little spicy there, and you are playing with fire. I agree with New York Times. You're playing with fire, and somebody's going to get hurt. Tectone took to X on September 30th to respond to Hasan's comments mentioned above, while writing that he doesn't wish any harm against Hasan. The former One True King member accused him of slandering, lying, bad-mouthing, and defaming him constantly. Hasan, I made an entire video to express how much I'm against anyone inciting and acting violence on my behalf, just as a precautionary due to political climate. I even name-dropped you specifically. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good to attack people. But he's basically blaming him. And it's not just him. There are a lot of people who are calling for Hasan to be deplatformed like permanently because he is too spicy for Twitch, right? Get a podcast or something. Yeah, so while claiming that he made the decision not because he was worried about his own safety, but because he was worried about the safety of others, he said, "I missed the social Hasan era. Unfortunately, there's an obvious setback there because of, one, all the political incidents that have taken place, and two, now those political incidents have had some pretty significant consequences." Yeah, Charlie Kirk got killed, and he actually was shocked by it. I remember I did watch that clip because he was going to debate him, I guess, and right a week or two after. It was scheduled for like a week or two after Charlie Kirk got killed. But yeah, I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that you talk about this shit, you incite people to shit, shit can happen. Tectone said, Hasan, people like Hasan have been pushing violent rhetoric and supporting terrorists for years. He knows the dangers he has caused for others. He's now too afraid to face the very beast he's created. He knows if he live streams there, he'll broadcast his own audience that will be there, exposing the exact type of viewers he's creating, exposing the exact type of dangers he'd be bringing with him. This is not a noble act. This is a man who is a coward. This man is delusional, and Twitch is a pathetic platform for allowing this type of violent rhetoric to go unpunished for years, nearly a decade now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so now people are worried about TwitchCon just in general. Pokimane and Lily Pichu remain uncertain about attending. Valkyrie and QT Cinderella. I don't know who half these people are. Pokimane, I know. That's about it. But yeah, they said they're not going. They're noping out. They're quitting. I don't think Pokimane has anything to worry about necessarily, except, maybe crazy ass stalkers sexualizing her or whatever. But definitely people like Hasan, Destiny. I think Destiny's been banned for like 2 or 3 years now. And Twitch is going to have to answer for this, right? I think all this is going to come out in the wash when they do this oversight committee deal in Washington. I think that Dan Clancy is probably of all the CEOs there, I think Dan Clancy is going to be in the hot seat more so than the others. And they're going to look at him. They're going to be like, why does Twitch allow this kind of speech on the platform, especially a platform that was originally designed for kids to watch people play video games, right? That's mostly what Twitch was marketed as. Now, it's not what it started out as. I know the whole deal. But in the last few years has been, hey, watch Ninja play Fortnite. Watch these other creators play Minecraft, whatever. And, while you're doing that, we're going to push, Hasan in front of you, and Frogan in front of you, and Destiny in front of you. And they're going to have questions. And I don't know if Dan Clancy can answer those questions. And I don't know if Twitch is going to be around in a year or two. I actually would not be surprised if Amazon got rid of it just because it's a huge liability. That is my personal opinion. Be like, it's not even making money. If it was making all kinds of money, hand over fist, like we might put up with this shit. But they're not even making money. The ad revenue is dropping off a cliff. They're constantly in hot water, and I cannot imagine Amazon wanting the headache. I mean, again, you're talking Jeff Bezos cleaned house at the Washington Post, and he said, hey, we're going to go back to center. Meanwhile, you're platforming some pretty radical leftists, and you're letting them stream their opinions 7 or 8 hours a day, every day for a decade, reaching hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people over time. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have some questions for him. I don't know if he's going to be able to answer them. I would love for them to ask him, how come you banned conservatives who didn't really do anything wrong, but you'll allow this kind of speech on the platform? You'll allow half-naked women on the platform. You know what I'm saying? Like the terms of service at Twitch are not evenly enforced. And if Twitch got gone, I would not be sad, because it has strayed so far from what it originally was. And it really doesn't serve a purpose now. I mean, every other platform does live streaming. In some cases, they do it better. And Kick is totally eating their lunch. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.